Since Armenia dumped Artsakh and degraded its relations with Russia, Russia has realigned its strategy in the South Caucasus to have a tighter partnership with Azerbaijan. Russia is talking with Azerbaijan to arrange a right of return for Armenians of Artsakh back to their lands. This is what we're reading in the news. Is this a realistic dialogue or just self-serving effort to keep Russian forces in Artsakh? I mean, what Armenians do you see who would go back to Azerbaijan and live as Azerbaijanis?
Okay, my understanding is that I hope and I think that no Armenian is ready to go to Nagorno-Karabakh as Nagorno-Karabakh is under Azerbaijani jurisdiction, as far as there are Azerbaijani police, Azerbaijani troops in Nagorno-Karabakh, and etc. Okay, if some people will do that for whatever reasons, because I don't know, they have no means in Armenia from socio-economic issues, or probably they really love their homeland too much and they are ready to live as, I don't know, second, third, or fourth sort of citizens, but at least walk in Stepanakert's streets. It's not up to me to blame anyone or condemn anyone because it's too complicated and too personal, and it's even ethically will be wrong sitting in Yerevan to tell, okay, you should not do that. But from my perspective, I will not criticize anybody who will go back, receive Azerbaijani passport and live under Azerbaijani jurisdiction, but I will not understand them. But again, from ethical or moral view, I don't think that anyone has any right to criticize them, but we have a right not to understand.
Understood. Hovig, what do you think?
I can't criticize people for wanting to move back. It depends on the level of guarantees provided to them. So I was listening to several interviews actually from parliamentarians from Artsakh, and they say that those guarantees have to be ironclad, and there has to be no contact between Armenians and Azerbaijanis. I believe that Benjamin would immediately call bullshit to the possibility of this ever happening. So, the big conditions put forth by at least representatives of Artsakh are that there has to be some level of autonomy for Armenians. And I don't think Aliyev is ever going to give that.
Yeah. And do you think anybody would trust Russian peacemaking or mediation at this point in time?
Look, I don't want to say anybody because people can be motivated by different means, and
I'm primarily meaning like the Artsakh leadership and the Artsakh people themselves, not anybody else. I don't care what Pashinyan thinks about this.
Well, I mean, if they're, I don't know how to respond to that, but if they're promised huge sums of money, maybe some would want to go temporarily to get their stuff from their houses, or any money they have left over, or golden. So I don't think that in reality anyone genuinely would view living in Azerbaijan as a long term as a possibility. I don't believe that myself.
Yeah, and if I add up, I believe we should differentiate between there is a concept of short return, as Hovik mentioned, when people are coming for 1 week or 10 days, gathering their belongings, furniture, or whatever. And there is this concept of short return, and there are some special guarantees that, okay, you are coming for 1 week, Russians are there, and etc. So if there will be some process to organize some short return, telling that, okay, you can come, you can take your things which you left, and etc., maybe some people will agree for this short return, like passing again through this Azerbaijani checkpoint. But if there is the guarantees, maybe some will agree for short return. But for long-term or permanent residence in Nagorno-Karabakh as Azerbaijani citizen and Azerbaijani jurisdiction, when there is Azerbaijani police, Azerbaijani courts, and when there will be Azerbaijanis all around, it will be difficult for me to understand anyone who will do that. Again, I'm not in a position to criticize.
Understood.